Hey everybody, this is Down Sombrano, and today I'm going to teach you how to use your head for striking, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so what do I mean by the head, develops that striking power when you're fighting in a street fight or in a ring, okay? What I mean by that is there's a few principles, guiding principles that I want you to understand before we go into this topic, okay? The first principle I want you to understand is the body follows the head, okay? The body follows the head. The second principle I want you to remember is the head follows the eyes, okay? So the head follows the eyes. Those two principles are very, very important, all right? So the head determines the direction that your body is going to go, all right? So it's really important to understand these principles and to put these so-called guidelines into your fighting when you're striking, and especially in the street fight, okay? So in the next segment, we're going to break down this information and these principles so that you can understand how to develop more power by the use of your head, okay? So stay tuned. Alright guys, so understand if your head isn't involved in the movement, then what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure, okay? Because you're putting on the brakes on your body, you're slowing yourself down, and also you're setting yourself up for counters by your attacker, okay? All because your head isn't involved in that movement, all right? So it's very, very important that when you're striking that your head gets involved in whatever it is you're doing. Again, remember, the body follows the head. And it's a very, very important principle to learn and to do, because a lot of you guys, when you're striking, you're not moving your head. You're moving your body and everything, but your head is not moving, okay? There's usually like 3 things that we end up doing that we think we're moving our head, but we're not. So this is the first thing that happens is like this, guys. So the first thing is guys are arm punching. They're just throwing their arms. They're just arm punching. That gives you a little bit of power, but again, you're just moving your arms, and you're not really doing anything else with your body, and your head especially is not doing anything. Then the second one is you're moving your shoulders, okay? And you're moving your arms. So now you got a little bit more movement on the body, but again, my head isn't moving. It's just staying still, okay? The third thing is using the lower body, pushing off the ground, and then using the hips and the arms and shoulders to move. Again, notice everything is moving except one thing, my head. It's just staying there, okay? When I'm throwing the strikes. Now, a lot of you guys will think as you're doing that, you're moving back and forth, throwing your punches and everything, but again, your head is not going, it's just like a balloon just floating right there. It just doesn't move very much, okay? Now, it's not advantageous for you to keep it like that, all right? And so, when you're fighting somebody and you're throwing your punches and everything, your head's floating, it's not that hard to hit an immobile target, okay? All I've got to do is just throw my strikes in the general area where your head is at, and I'm going to hit you. And the reason why is because the head isn't moving. The body might be moving, but the head is pretty much in the same place, so I just got to just throw in this general vicinity of where the head's at, and I'm going to hit you all the time, okay? That's why it's really dangerous when your head's not moving, okay? That's one of the reasons why you need to learn to move your head while you strike. Okay, so in the next segment, I'm going to demonstrate and break down some of the things that you need to do to get the head moving. Also, I'm going to explain to you some of the things in nature to see how it works, okay? And it's the same thing that we should be doing, all right? So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, guys. So, for example, let's take the animal kingdom, okay? Now, if you watch a horse, watch a greyhound in races, if you watch these animals, you're going to see that when they come out of the stalls in the race, watch their head. The head moves first, and then the body moves right behind it. When they run, the head moves first, and then the body follows that head. If they go by the exact same principle, body follows the head, okay? So when they're running, and when they get the maximum amount of speed out of themselves, the head moves in the direction that they're going, and the head moves before the body does, okay? That's really, really important. They do that out of instinct, and so we should do the same thing when we're fighting. If you ever watch like on Animal Planet or some show where they show predators going after their prey, one of the examples would be watching like the lioness chasing a gazelle. If you watch the lioness chase after a gazelle, she follows the gazelle with her head, and as she moves and turns with the gazelle, her body flows with the head. Again, the body will follow the head, okay? Anytime the body tries to go before the head, she always ends up falling down, losing her balance, okay? But once the head goes, the body's going to follow. In other words, she's chasing her target, okay? And so that's the same thing that we should be doing when we're fighting. You need to be chasing your target, chasing the attacker when you're fighting, okay, in a street fight. Again, the fight's like 8 to 10 seconds long, so you need to be chasing that individual and striking them with your power strikes and taking them out as quickly as you can. And if you hold yourself back by not moving your head, you're doing yourself a disservice, okay, and it's going to take you a little bit longer to be able to take them out and be able to win a fight because of the fact that you're slowing yourself down by not moving your head against the attacker, okay? It's very important, again, to understand that principle and to use it as a guide for you when you're striking somebody, okay? So in the next segment, I'm going to go over and I'm demonstrate how to do it with your strikes, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so in this segment, I'm going to show you and demonstrate how to do this moving of the head with your strikes, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is going to throw straight strikes, you know, the jab and the cross, you know, or the straight left, straight right, okay? So when I throw, I'm moving my head in the direction that I'm throwing. Now, I'm moving slightly to the side, and the reason why is because I'm going through center line. When I throw, I'm moving my body through center line, so that way my strike will have more power because I'm bringing more weight behind my strike. Really, that's the way, that's basic bottom line about striking is you want to put the maximum amount of your weight into your punch to take out the individual. That's what it comes down to, okay? So the way you can do that is by slightly crossing center line and striking. Now my head is moving in the direction that my strike's coming, okay? I don't just sit there and just hold it up. I move with intention and I'm moving my head in the direction of my strike. As I do that, the faster I go, the faster my strike's going to come at the individual, okay? So for my straights, I'm just moving my head slightly left to right, depending on which one I'm striking with, okay? So that's how you do it with my straights. Now, for hooks, okay, I'm turning my face, my head in the direction that I'm going to throw my hooks, okay? I just turn slightly towards the direction I want to strike, okay? When I do that, it takes the brakes off my head, so I'm able to move faster and more powerful and more explosive when I throw my strikes, okay? So when I'm throwing my hooks, you turn your head slightly, okay, when you're striking. Next thing is uppercuts. Now I'm going to throw my uppercut. Again, I'm just going to look slightly in the direction that my uppercuts are going, which is kind of almost in the diagonal position, upward. Okay? And I'm able to throw quicker, faster with my uppercuts. Okay? Now for overhands, either left or right, depending on how you're going to do it, I don't look straight down, but I'm coming down in the direction that my strike's going to hit the individual. I bring my head and my body downward. It makes me go faster and puts more weight behind my strike when I'm throwing it. Okay? Now, if you don't do that, you can stand. You can see what I'm talking about and practice it by just standing in front of a heavy bag and just throw your punches. You know, just throw your punches without moving your head too much, and you're going to see how much of the brakes you put onto yourself and how much slower you're going to be and how much you're fighting the resistance of your own body when you're throwing your strikes, and all because your head is holding you back. But the moment you take out the brakes and start going, you're going to start finding out that your head, it starts making your body get quicker and more explosive and more aggressive when you're striking. Okay? And that's what you want to do when you're fighting. You want to chase the guy, you want to attack him and take him out as quickly and as fast as you can. Remember, 8 to 10 seconds in a street fight is what you got, so you want to finish him off or at least knock him on the ground so that way you can escape. Okay? And the fastest way you're going to be able to do that is by moving your head when you're striking. The other thing about this is that as I move my head, okay, my head isn't where it was before, so when somebody tries to generally throw a strike in the direction where I was at, I'm not there no more because I've moved my head. I've moved it, okay, out of the way. Now this works really well, and it's hard for the guy to hit you because your head's not going to be where he expects it to be. Okay, because most likely he's used to seeing the guys not moving their heads, and they're able to get hit like that. Okay, you can do the same thing with your knees. Okay, your head follows or goes, and your knee follows the head. Round kicks, same thing. Your head goes in the direction the kick's going to go, and the leg follows it. Okay, push kick, same thing. Your head is going in the direction that the push kick's going to go in. Okay, so you can practice all your kicks, your punches, your elbows. Okay, same thing. Any palm strikes, it all works the same way. Again, the guiding principle is the body follows the head. Okay, as long as you keep that in mind, you're going to get better and better at your striking. Again, when you're practicing, focus on these principles, and I guarantee you're going to be faster and more aggressive when you're striking. Alright guys, now when you're fighting, okay, and you're moving your head, again, you're unleashing or taking the brakes off, and you're going to go more quicker, more explosively into your attacker, and you're going to be very fast and fluid when you're striking. Okay. Now, the examples I'm going to show you as far as in the fighting world is judo fighters. If you see the judo, when they grab the guy, when they throw, they turn their heads. Okay, makes the guy go drop faster. Okay, my teacher, when he taught me when we were throws, he told me always when you throw somebody to look up as you're throwing, that keeps your balance. Because if you don't look up, you're going to fall forward because your eyes are looking down. Okay, and it's very true. If you're fighting somebody, all right, and you look down, your body, again, the head's following the eyes, but the body's following the head, it will stop because the eyes are looking straight at the ground, and it will force you to stop. You might not think it will happen, but it does do that. In your mind, you didn't realize what's going on, but the body knows what's going on, okay? And so you can test this out by just standing here and stepping, and immediately, forcefully look straight down as you're stepping, and all of a sudden you're going to stay. You're not going to go very far. You're going to just like lock onto the ground, okay? Again, it's following those principles, those two principles. Body follows head, head follows the eyes, okay? So, get used to moving and not so much looking at the ground, unless, of course, you want to lock yourself down. But if you don't, if you want to move around, do not look directly down at the ground. Then you're going to put on the brakes on yourself. And do not lock your head and not move it, okay? Don't keep it in the vertical plane. Move it horizontal, okay? And into the diagonal positions and angles, okay? Don't just keep it in the vertical, which is just straight up, okay? Make it move when you're striking. And you're going to be a better fighter and more aggressive fighter because of it. Alright guys, now the head, this is another analogy I usually use for the guys so they can understand. Okay, the head is the steering wheel. The body is the vehicle. The vehicle doesn't go any which way until the steering wheel turns and directs the body or the vehicle in the direction it wants to go. Okay? So when you want to go in whatever direction it is, the steering wheel or the head must lead the vehicle in that direction. Otherwise it's not going to go there. And if it does, it's going to be off balance. It's not going to be right. Okay? It'll be slow, it'll be clunky, and it'll be uneven and unbalanced and unstable. You must train yourself to move the head first, then the body. Okay? It works really well too, especially when you're grappling. If you don't move your head, okay, when someone shoots in and you don't move your head, you just move your body, it's going to kind of like suspend you in the air slightly before you can go down, and most likely the guy will be on you and taking you down before you know it. Okay? Because some guys are really quick with the shoot. So if you learn to chase the guy with your eyes, when you're standing there and you watch him and he comes in, you watch his head, chase his head, your body will move quicker because, again, because the head following the eyes and the eyes are following the person that's coming at him, you're going to be quicker and the body will be quicker too because it's part of that principle. Okay? So when you start, especially for grapplers, this works really well when you learn how to use your eyes in conjunction with your head and body. Okay? You'll be a lot quicker and more spontaneous when you're fighting somebody. Alright? So the thing about for strikers is if you throw your eyes as you're moving your head, you make your eyes go in the direction that you're going to punch, and you throw it, I call it throwing your eyes, you know, or just basically you're moving your eyes in that direction. Again, the head's going to follow those eyes, so if the eyes go here, my head's going to go there, and my body goes there. Okay? And as I start to synchronize myself, as I'm throwing my strikes, I'm going to be more quicker, more aggressive, and more powerful and explosive because of the fact I'm taking off the brakes when I'm striking somebody, because I'm moving my head and I'm making myself quicker in that little space of time. Alright? So you're going to be more powerful and explosive when you're striking somebody. Test this out, try it out, keep your head straight, don't move it too much, and just have a partner hold focus mitts, or if you don't have a partner, hit a bag, you know, or if you don't have even that, just doing shadow, and don't move your head, be cognizant of not moving your head, and feel your body, your movement as you throw your strikes, and then remember that feeling, and then after the next time, start moving your head, then feel and notice how quicker and more smoother and more fluid you're going to be in your striking. And you're going to see that what I'm telling you works really well, okay? Again, you must focus on training this into your system or into the way you fight, and you're going to get a lot better, a lot faster, and a lot more aggressive when you do that. If not, you're going to hold yourself back and you're going to set yourself up for a counter, and you're going to be getting hit, and you're going to be wondering why that's happening. Well, this is why it's happening, because you ain't moving your head. Move your head when you're striking, and you're going to be a better fighter. Alright guys, we come to the end of the video, and I just want to go over the basic points of what I've taught you today. Okay? Number one is understand the principles. Body follows the head, head follows the eyes. Remember those principles. It's going to be a lot easier to follow along and do what I just showed you. Again, that the head determines the movement of the body. Okay? Because the head is the steering wheel, the body is the vehicle. Alright? Now, when you strike, don't look down. Okay? Look at the individual striking and chase them with your head. Chase them. Chase them down. Use your head to chase them, and you're going to start going faster and quicker as you're throwing your strikes. Okay? That's really important when you do that. Your head, again, dictates the movement of the body. So it moves first. The faster, the better for you. Okay? Now, the other thing that I want to go over is that if you throw your eyes, if it says a striker, if you throw your eyes, you're going to be faster with the head movement, which will be in turn make you faster in the body movement. Okay? Now if you're grappling, the faster you move your eyes, chasing the head of the individual, the body of the individual, the faster your head's going to move and the faster your body's going to move. So it makes you a more quicker grappler. Okay? So whether for MMA, grappling, or for stand-up fighting, it works the same. The principles are the same. That's really important to understand the principles and what you're going to be doing. You can practice this if you don't believe it, or trying to wrap your head around how to do this, is by hitting a bag and just not moving your head and just throwing your strike and basically doing the way you were normally doing it, and then all of a sudden go the other way and have determined focus on moving your head in your strikes. Okay? Again, wherever you're going to strike, the head moves in that direction. Okay? And when you do that, the body will flow with it. Okay? Now, again, just practice this over and over. Train it deliberately and intently, and put it back into your arsenal and the way you fight, and you will become a better and stronger fighter for it. Okay? So again, move the head, the body will follow. Okay? Very important. So until next time, this is John Sobrano saying, don't just hit them, punch a hole through. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.